The Link. This is a program that links you with the resources in your community. I'm Joni Wedler. I have a special guest today, Reese Piper from Ridge Runner Soaps. Soap Company, LLC. Thank you so much for being here on The Link.
Thank you for having me.
We want to talk about all things to do with soap and health and healing for your body and things that are good to put on your body. Our skin is our largest organ, and so it's very important to treat our skin with respect, which we will do. But I have to start with you because I would not think of a veteran Marine and soap together. And we're going to talk about that. So Reese, thank you for your service. You served in the Marine Corps.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were telling me before we started that you were at Camp Lejeune.
Yes.
And what did you do when you were there?
I was a field MP at Camp Lejeune, which is basically a cross between mobile infantry and heavy weapons and law enforcement. So we got to play with the big guns and then arrest people, basically. So.
But more importantly, the troops that were going onto the battlefield and coming off?
Yeah, we did a lot of battlefield control, who goes on, who goes off, where they go, convoy security. That's our main function.
And so on field trips, you know what this guy would do is on field trips, you would go up to DC because you love DC. What do you love about it?
What don't you love about DC? The history, from how it was designed, to just little things. Air and Space Museum, one of my favorite spots in the world. Just the history. I'm a huge history buff, and no matter how you view anything, just the
aura of the place.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't go to DC and lose your breath, there's something up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's definitely I mean, it's a beautiful city too. Just the from the monuments. The people. I mean, it's the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, isn't that
wherever you go, there's history and there's beauty, and it's an amazing place.
And you were telling me that you can really kind of, because I said, did you wear your uniform? And you said no, not you and your buddy would go up and you wouldn't be in uniform, but yet you knew who was in the military. How could you tell?
Usually, you can tell a lot from the haircuts, a lot from just how people carry themselves, walk around, holding doors. Yes, ma'am. That's a huge one. And just their general composure. When you walk by something, say the tomb of the unknown soldier. I mean, the general public, you can tell they're just in awe about it, but a military person, there's something different about it. So.
More there. I saw on YouTube the changing of the guard, and I had never seen that before. And it's a fairly long process. And there was someone who spoke in the crowd, and the officer shut that down immediately.
Yes, it's a place of respect. And I'm getting emotional. Just if you ever have a chance to see it in person, there's nothing like it. Just the feeling, the respect, and it is demanded there, and as it should be.
And they have to maintain for hours. How long is this shift?
I believe they're 30 minutes. I could be wrong. I actually served in the Marines with somebody who had come from they call them the old guard. And I tell you, some of the stories, I mean, like they would hours just getting ready for their shift. They're a special person, special breed. They aren't allowed to drink ever. They have to basically swear an oath to that. They wear a special medallion that if they break one of their rules, they have to give it up. So it's a hardcore group. And you look at them, oh, they're so skinny and everything, but these guys, I wouldn't mess with them. No. And just the amount of work they do.
Precision work.
It's amazing. I mean, we always, as a Marine, we always make fun of other groups, but there's groups you don't. It's just, you can't.
Right.
Because, you know, they're more hardcore than you'll ever be.
Right.
And that's just who they are. So it takes a special type of person to be able to do one of those
You know what
duties.
I was wondering was what happens in the middle of the night, like 2 in the morning. That guy's out there, and is it always a male or can it be a female?
I believe they have females now.
So that person's out there doing their job, guarding the tomb. Are they alone?
I'm not 100% sure. I do know they guard it 24/7. There's only been, I believe, once or maybe twice, and it was during like a hurricane or a blizzard, one of those two, that they were able to come in, or they like their colonel or whatever allowed them to. And I believe, if I'm remembering the story correctly, they refused to abandon the post. So.
Very emotional,
Yeah.
very, very emotional. But DC holds a place in your heart, and you hold a place in our heart because you served their country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's not easy to do what you've done, and you have. And then you came home and you developed some kind of allergy with your skin, and it didn't like regular soap. Is that
no? You know, I would break out in hives, and it was just very uncomfortable. Went to many dermatologists. Couldn't figure out. Went to all the fancy soap. Well, you can't even really call some of it soap. It's just cleansing stuff. And I bought somebody's homemade soap, and it worked. Like, skin felt better. So then I started to make it for myself, and then, you know, just a couple bars here and there, and then I started doing Christmas presents. So my whole family and everybody I knew for a couple years got boxes of soap. So we'd get fancy from whatever store. We'd make fancy little boxes and ribbon and all that stuff. Make it look, you know,
nice.
as pretty as a Marine can make things. And you give them as gifts. Well, you know, a couple months go by. Hey, I need some more of that soap. You know, hey, what do you have more of this? Do you have more of this? I'm like, oh, okay, I'll make it. And then you have all this soap, and you're giving it away, and then somebody comes up with the idea, why don't you do a market? Oh, okay. So you sign up for a market, and of course with the market you need insurance and, you know, be incorporated. So all of a sudden you're starting a business.
Here you are starting business.
Yep.
And we talked about starting business in the state, not necessarily the state of Connecticut, different from any other state, but just the fact that you're starting a business. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to pay bills. What do you mean you're starting a business?
You know, and you don't think about the little things. The LLC costs money. Yeah. The insurance costs a lot of money because, well, for us, we need product liability. We need just general liability. So, I mean, like, we're different than if we were making something just like a Christmas decoration, right, per se, and we don't need product liability on that.
Right.
So we do have to carry and
so you had to figure all that out, and determine, was it worth it?
Well, yeah. I mean, basically.
Now, I use this soap. Okay, I use. We'll talk about this first. This soap is the foaming soap. So when you press this down in the liquid, it creates a foam, and it's wonderful. You don't get all that gloppy stuff all over your sink. And it comes in a variety of different scents, and this is the refill that I get. So any of you who go into Big Y, I'm going to mention Big Y right now. I love Big Y, but Big Y, you walk past the produce section and you're overcome, not by a perfumey, sicky smell, you're overcome by essential oils, and you're like, what's that? It's the Ridge Runner soap. And so the refill comes in that, which is nice because then you're not buying all kinds of plastic. You keep that, and then you just keep refilling.
Yep, and we're hoping by the fall, well, winter at the latest, to have a retail location in Torrington where we're going to have, so you can bring your bottles in and get them refilled.
Even better.
So they were going to, and we're even going to have it so you can bring any bottle in and get refilled, not just plastic bottle. It can be a glass bottle, whatever bottle you bring in, we weigh it, clean it.
See that?
And it goes out.
Torrington's doing such great things. The hydroponic plant over there is expanding.
Oh yeah.
And now we're going to have less plastic because of Fridge Runner soaps, because I can bring my thing there and get connected.
Yep.
I can get hooked up, but let's not get off the soap a minute. I don't know, you could probably see this, the marbleization in this. Not only is this one is clover fields and aloe. I mean, these are beautiful. These are all scented with essential oils. But how do you get that? Did you have to play around, Reese?
You do.
I mean, this is like, packaging is beautiful.
Thank you. Well, if you open, or take off the label here, we kind of pour it in the soap, and then I save a little bit of the colored soap, and I have these basically they're like ketchup bottles you get from like the restaurant store, and then I kind of do a strip on the loaf.
So you're chef.
Yeah, and then it's for cake decorating. I do a little swirl on the top, which I mean
So
between
that's how, look at that.
between practice and production, I have many hours of soap decorating experience.
Many hours. This is Bora Bora. Oh, I didn't know you made Bora Bora. See, if you can't go, you can use the soap. That's how we'll leave it there. And so, which product did you start with?
I started with the soap. I didn't bring the specific one, but I started with an unscented, and then I went to the lavender soap, with, like this one, and then I just started asking people what they wanted. One of this, originally I would call this my nemesis soap, the patchouli soap. I never really liked the smell of patchouli. Now I don't mind it because it's been in my life for 10 years. But you start making it, and you get to a point where it's, oh, we need we need to make more, and it's like, oh man, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, let's make more. So it's.
Now, how do you come up with your scents, and where do you get your, well, you don't have to tell us your secrets, but the essential oils, what's the importance of the essential oil versus a synthetic fragrance?
It's all in the testing and how you use it.
Mm-hmm. And would you have tests where you'd give this out and say, hey, what do you think? Like woodsy is another one.
I test a lot on my friends, and they love it. This actual winter, we've tested probably another 20 cents. Excuse me. And we just made the soap, let it cure, cut it up, and hey, I need you to come over and smell these soap. Try them out a little bit.
We're having Friday night soap smell.
Exactly. So like this year, we're going to be adding about 9 soaps. So I believe the count at the end of this year will be 65 soaps.
Wow.
Different scents.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
it would be kind of cool. Do you do a seasonal scent?
We are going to start doing that. We're actually our new warehouse. We're expanding our production.
Congrats.
So thank you, and we're hoping to quadruple our production. So we'll have the capability of like maybe like a holiday, like Christmas. Definitely, I like apple cinnamon soaps. So like Halloween, Thanksgiving, that type of area. We're experimenting on some like spring scents, more spring scents. My fiance is trying to direct me so we get a little more feminine scents in our soaps, which. I think we're doing a good job.
You're expanding.
Yeah, I mean,
started a business 10 years ago, and look at.
Yeah, so we're adding like amaretto this year, which that one I didn't think I was gonna like, but once I started smelling it, it was like, oh my goodness.
Mix a little orange on this side, a little amaretto on this side, and you got yourself a cocktail.
So yeah, like I said, we're adding some new scents. We're expanding some of our scent lines, and then.
How exciting!
Yeah, it is. Of course, every time I see somebody, one of our customers will come back. Oh, when's the new soap coming out? It's coming? It will be here by the end of the year.
And this is your first retail store you're going to have?
This is our first retail. We've been in 21 Big Ys. We've been in. We're in a lot of the local farm markets, farm stands. We're in a bunch of the IGAs. So we're trying to...
Getting Big Y was big.
Big Y, they've been amazing from the start. I know, like, you watch their commercials and you kind of roll your eyes if you don't know, but they are amazing for local businesses.
And so look at what they've done for you. I mean, and I'm going to tell you a little backstory that I didn't tell you. Tracy, who was the manager at the Torrington store, who's not at the Torrington store anymore, Big Y.
He's in West Hartford.
Yes, and I miss him.
I do too.
The vibe of that Torrington store with that man in the store, you could tell when he was in the store.
Tracy was integral to getting us in Big Y. His general demeanor, he knew everybody that came into that store, he knew their name.
Yep.
You don't see that now in anywhere.
No, he'd be putting up dairy.
Yeah.
He'd be over in produce. You'd hear him. You knew in the store when he was there. And I said to him, oh my gosh, I love these soaps. He had some district manager or something in. And so as a customer, I walked by and I said, oh, I really love those soaps. And he said, let me tell you about those soaps. He said, this young man was a veteran, did this is what this is why we brought him in. We really believe they had the display areas right by the pharmacy there. And so I could tell from a business how they felt about you, and now hearing how you feel about them.
Yeah, again, I mean, Tracy, he's where we started. Torrington was our home store. So, but they were, I mean, those guys are crazy. I mean, bring everything. And I mean, through the beginning of the pandemic, I mean, they were just like, hey, keep stuff coming in. Stuff coming in.
Did you do the display in there? Did you design the display? Because it was not.
They actually, they bought the table. We set it up.
Yep.
Nice. Did some of the side features and stuff. But that was a collaboration. Between us.
This idea, I didn't even know you had this because it wasn't in Big Y yet. This is a loofah, okay, which is a natural fiber that can exfoliate the skin, and you stuffed it with your product.
Yes.
Which is awesome. And it smells so good. And this was at the farmer's market in Bristol, and an employee of ours came in and she said, look what I found. Ridge Ritters has this loofah, stuffed loofah. Great for guys, great for women, great for everybody.
It's great, if you're ever out in the mud, or I mean, you can use it for the garden, for mechanic work. It's great just to get the dirt off, and it's all natural. You don't have to worry about because it is natural. Like, you don't have to worry about it going down the drain because it's biodegradable.
Right.
So.
And now, is this shampoo idea a new one?
For us, it is. It's been around for a while. We're working on some conditioner to go with it. It's very difficult to find a solid conditioner. We've been working on it for 5 years. It's coming, folks. It's coming. But that is, we originally shrink wrapped them. I didn't like the idea of using plastic shrink wrap, so we went to the compostable container.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it. You need a pet soap.
We do have a pet soap.
You do?
Yep.
Shame on me.
No.
Is it like this or like this?
It's actually one of our liquid soaps.
Okay.
We actually, my dog kind of came up with the same skin issue that I had, and I said, well, why can't he have a good soap?
Right.
So we started making pet shampoos. They're liquid. I started out with the bar soap. He didn't really like that much. He liked just putting the soap on and doing that. He was a very, very finicky dog, but
sometimes it's easier with the liquid.
It is.
Because they don't like to be in there for very long.
It is, yes.
And you have
definitely.
to watch the essential oils with dogs because
Yes.
they can't be on everything. And then the hand and body, is that new?
Some of our scents are new. That's one of our newer lines. We actually, the cherry almond is one of our newest scents. And that.
But I don't recall seeing the hand and body. I'm going to have to look for that. And then, of course, candles. We only have a couple minutes left, but I just want to mention, when you look at a candle, like some of the candles that have been around forever, and you see inside, you look at your candle, you don't see this nice, smooth soy base, which distributes that fragrance nice and easily, and also the burn time of the candle. And what I didn't realize is if you use synthetic fragrance in a candle and you have an aquarium, it can wipe your fish tank out, because fish are air breathers. If you have, and as well as animals. So some of that synthetic fragrance that you're breathing in your candles, not so hot, folks, where the soy candles and all your essential oils aren't going to be a problem.
Yeah, we use specifically designed fragrance for the candles. They're a special line that we use that are certified clean air.
Okay.
So they're
not all. They may not be all essential oil, but they are approved
correct.
for burning.
They are. They're one of the safest that you can do for the candles, and they burn amazing.
They do,
Yeah.
and you want that in a candle. So, well, looking back at 10 years now, is this a path that you're glad that you went down?
I am. It's like everything you do in life. There's some stress. There's good times, bad times.
Family-run business.
Family run. You have. When you have an argument with family members, it's hard to get away from it. But like everything, you work through it. You come up with kind of a hierarchy. It's kind of tough. Both my parents retired from. Well, they thought they were retiring until then I started the business. So they're both with me. They're my partners. My father's my right hand in the business, and he.
You can trust them.
Yeah, well,
that's the thing.
You can trust them. You don't have to. Being a Marine, I don't have to micromanage them, which is hard for me not to do, but it's definitely something that I've learned, especially with him. That I don't have to worry about. It'll get done. He's having the time of his life. I was like, Dad, you got to take some days off. You got to take a week up. Why? I'm having fun. We're doing this.
Yeah,
hey,
you are
okay.
doing this.
So,
you are doing
yeah,
this.
and my whole family's been amazing. Like I said, my dad's my right hand of the business. My fiance's been getting involved for a couple years now.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean.
What do you do? What's your favorite part besides the books, which nobody wants to do?
I mean, there's very few parts that I've not come to like. Maybe the tax season. That's not my favorite, the numbers part. But the one part I never thought I'd enjoy is the dealing with the people. But that's one of my favorite things now, because we offer, these are us. The products are us.
Yeah.
So we're not selling just
something
random
you don't
something.
believe in.
Yeah, exactly. We're selling, this is from my heart. I designed every single one of these products from scratch. So it's part of me. It's and again, if somebody's unhappy with something, it reflects on me.
Right.
And I take that very personal. There's nights where, oh my goodness, this person doesn't like it, and I'm like sleepless night, and it's not a good feeling. But you move on, you learn. Maybe it was nothing. It could have been just they didn't like the scent. Hey, switch the scent out. Sometimes, like with the candles, we have hundreds and hundreds of candles that we make. Soon to be thousands, but sometimes when you get thousands of wicks, there's one in there that doesn't work properly. It doesn't burn, doesn't burn the last inch or two. Well, we replace that because that's us.
Yep.
And
this is really an extension of you.
Yeah. So we're our customers are that's who makes us.
I love your logo too.
Thank you.
So, natural. Works with the environment. You care about your customers. You cared about your country.
Well, we try to keep our community close, and we try to stay involved with the food banks, and we do work with Northwestern Community College. They have a food bank up there. We bring stuff up for them. Because it's not just about the food or about they need something comfortable.
Right.
So, like a lot of people, this could be a luxury.
Yeah.
A fancy bar soap. For me, it's a necessity.
Right.
But for some people, it's a luxury.
That's right.
And they need.
Right.
They need.
Or you put something
yes,
on. It smells
exactly.
good. You kind of feel better about things.
Exactly.
And
and I have people come up to me every once in a while, and it's like, oh man, I love that. I got it here. A lot of people don't admit to needing help.
Right,
but
that's
the fact
true.
that oh man, thank you so much. It put a smile on my face. And it gets you. It really does.
You.
And we don't do it for we don't want thank yous and we don't want all that, but we want to be part of the community.
Yes.
And
you are, and in such a wonderful way. And I can tell that what you're putting into this business is what you're reaping as the benefits. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and come back again.
Oh,
and
anytime.
Let us know. We'll see where Reese is going with this. And in the meantime, for all of us here at Nutmeg TV, I'm Joni Wedler. Until next time.